For many outsiders, they usually don't associate Las Vegas as a place where race car drivers grew up. But since the turn of the century, the Bullring has been the home to many notables in the upcoming ranks of NASCAR. Kyle Busch in his youth, for example, went on to win 25 times at this track, tied for the ninth most in its history. And some of the rising stars of the 2010s, such as Dylan Kwasniewski, Noah Gragson, and Ryan Vargas, all dug their teeth into racing here. Tonight, the top drivers in the Bootleg Racing League SK Modified Series look to fight at this 35-year-old venue. Who will win tonight's action? We're about to see live on the Global SimRacing channel. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's coverage of the Bootleg Racing League SK Modified Series presented by The Cruise Shop. For the Stone River 100, live for the virtual Bullring at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I'm Justin Prince. Alongside the booth tonight is Sean Ambrose. He's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Now, Sean, tonight's racing action should be interesting to say the very least. Just 10 degrees of banking and a very tight conformed short track with a lot of intensity.
Yeah, Justin, but before we get to the track details, let's talk to our old friend J.R. Shepard. J.R. is taking a moment to chat with us here as he tries to lock up this championship with just 2 races to go. J.R., how you doing, my friend?
Hey, Sean, doing good. How about you?
Man, I'm doing awesome. We've got 2 races left. Tonight we kick it off here at the Bullring in Las Vegas. Haven't run here much over the last couple of years since this track come up. What are your impressions of this place?
I really like it. It's one of those tracks that's really line sensitive, and it's hard to hit your marks getting into the corner, especially in this SK because you can't see the entry of the corner or the apex, so it's a little tricky for sure.
Yeah, and a little easy to crack this car loose on this track here on this 3/8 mile track?
Yeah, definitely in this SK. It does it at every track, but here it's a little more pronounced, so it pushes a little bit getting into the corner, and if you touch that apron any at all, the rear end's going to kick around pretty quick on you.
All right, you got 2 races left. Maybe not a lot of margin for error. You got to get a good result tonight. You looking forward to this one?
It's going to be tough. Again, I like racing here, but it's one of those tracks where if something happens in front of you, it's going to be hard to miss. So hopefully we can just have a clean race and bring it home in one piece.
All right, go get him, champ. We'll probably talk to you here in a little while.
All right, thanks, Sean. Have a good broadcast, guys.
All right, Justin, that's J.R. Shepard, the champ. Let's talk a little bit, though, about this track. Here we are. Welcome, race fans, to the Bullring. And, well, we're here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Yeah, race fans, this is a local stock car track. They've got a full slate of racing all year, just announced. They've added a 4th race at a NASCAR weekend, February 20th. K&N West will be running here on Thursday night. So that will kick off the NASCAR weekend here. But, Justin, this track, 3/8 tenths mile. Let's see, it's banking 10 degrees here on this oval. JR talked about it. It's a little windy tonight. That could make things tricky, Justin. But what is tricky is what's going on in the driver's points. Why don't you talk about that real quick?
Yes, indeed. Let's look at those championship points. You mentioned J.R. Shepard at the top of the standings. Then the battle for second's getting interesting, where it's James Lowe and Joshua Banks separated by just 1 point, 11 and 12 seconds, 11 and 12 points rather back, and the driver's standings to J.R. Shepard. Kenny Kibbe is in 4th with Tom Liston rounding out the top 5 in the point standings for tonight's racing action. Let's also look at your race details as we enter round number 10. There are 2 drop weeks. However, tonight, the 100-lap race, no one's allowed to take tires. 1 faster pair is available. And the key thing in this series, Sean, the grid inverts from the top 8 from the previous race.
Justin, we can't forget about our sponsors, the Cruise Shop. They are a team of highly experienced travel agents that have a huge passion for travel. The Cruise Shop specializes in cruises, all-inclusive resorts, escorted tours, Disney, vacations, family travel, group packages, honeymoon packages, wedding vacations as well. They'd love an opportunity to help you out plan your next dream vacation. Call them today, 260-755-6125. And we don't want to forget about Stone River Outfitters. Of course, this is the Stone River Outfitters 100. You know, they're a family-owned, full-service brick-and-mortar fly shop located in Amherst, New Hampshire. Folks, they've got a great website. You need to check that out, especially if you like fly fishing. They service the greater New England region and beyond. They're committed to your satisfaction. Our small but knowledgeable staff works hard to not only stock the finest selection of top-quality fly fishing and fly tying products the industry has to offer, but it backs those goods with the highest levels of customer service, experience, insight, and most candid, trustworthy advice available anywhere, period. Check out Stone River Outfitters. Their information in the description of this broadcast. Justin, we talked to our good buddy J.R. Shepard. The weather here this evening, it's not bad for an evening in Las Vegas and very low humidity, but that wind is a little bit of a concern, like you mentioned.
Yeah, right now the wind has been gusting back and forth, going over the front stretch grandstands and facing the back stretch. Right now, it is 7 miles an hour to the west. However, it's been gusting as high as 10 miles an hour throughout the practice session. The track temp is also kicked up as the cars have built rubber up around this 66-degree air temp up to 71 degrees Fahrenheit. That was just 68 degrees 5 minutes ago. So that's how much rubber these drivers have put in on the racetrack in preparation for tonight. Let's talk about your expectations racing-wise tonight, because there's the little amount of banking here, but that D-shaped oval portion of the circuit is on the backstretch here at the Bullring.
Yeah, it is, and well, we've seen this SK get kind of squirrely once those tires start to heat up. They get on a good green flag run. The car could get a little wicked through there, especially with the side-by-side racing. And as we've seen week in, week out, just a little bit of Nerf bar contact here on the SK Modified could get you spinning, could get you around. Now, the field, not quite as full as we've seen all this season. One of the drivers we're looking at right now, Mike Allen, actually has got an EOL tonight, a loss of 5 championship points for avoidable contact last week in that race. So Mike going to have to start at the back, but at least he picked a week here. Well, he probably didn't pick it, but he's got a week where he may not have to start 24 deep, maybe only about 18, 19 deep this week.
Yes, indeed. And the 8 drivers, by the way, that are going to be a part of that invert we talked about: Joshua Banks, who won the last race at Irwindale, J.R. Shepard, Kenny Kibbe, John Minotto, along with Justin Morton, James Lowe, Justin Allen, Joshua Buckley are the 8 drivers who finished in the top 8 last week. Who are you keeping on amongst these drivers tonight to try and battle for the race victory?
Well, we got to talk to J.R. Shepard, and I got to be honest, Justin, J.R. sounded like he was beaming with confidence, and if I'm one of his competitors, I don't want to be hear JR beaming with confidence. So I'm going to watch JR tonight until somebody proves to me they can beat him. I'll go with him. Now listen, James Lowe is fighting for his right in this championship, and I say watch out for Lowe. I don't even want to call him a dark horse. He's fast every week. But James could get something done here tonight. He's got really ridiculously close times to J.R. Shepard. He may have this track figured out.
Indeed, right now you're seeing some of the drivers continue to figure out that track for themselves here, including this 98 machine you're looking at the front nose of at the moment. Pardon me, I should say that's the 99 of James Lowe here. Talk us through the best line, in your opinion, to try and fight for position, to try and keep moving through the field, because we were just keeping up with the late model race, for example, just before this, where some of the drivers were fighting side by side, 3-4 wide on the circuit.
Well, I will say this. We just saw a couple laps there with James Lowe. James Lowe is going to hug that bottom line. He's going to come down into it high off the turn. He'll kind of climb down the hill, almost diamond these turns off just a bit. We'll watch J.R. Shepard real quick, see what he does. He gets the car really, really down low in the center and then springs it all the way back out to the wall there, Justin. And you want to figure out how to get around this track fast. It starts with probably taking a look at JR. A little traffic in the track there. It was little Jill waiting for him there. But we've got a good field here tonight. All the fast guys are here. We are missing a few, unfortunately, but it's 2 races left to go. And, well, it's close to the holidays, so some may not be here tonight. That's okay. Well, we'll get by. Justin Morton, you and I were talking about him. He's been new this season, but he's also been fast here, Justin, the TDR racing driver. Right now, 3rd on the board in practice. He could be a dark horse here this evening at the Bullring.
Yeah, he was one of the drivers who immediately caught my eye when we were preparing in the broadcast booth here at the Bullring to keep an eye on. With 14 flat at the moment, 1/1002 over Kurt Smith in the practice charts. J.R. Shepard leading those charts at the moment, followed by James Lowe, who are the only drivers in the 13.9 second mark on the racetrack. Robbie Robinson rounds out the top 5 at the moment on the practice charts on the left side of your screen. 3 minutes until the green flag here as we follow along with Morton. And why do you think it has been such a quick adaptation rate to the series with Morton? As we know, of course, that team actually taking part in, with some other drivers, a part of the Ignite series this past fall.
Well, I was going to say, it might have a little something to do with the team he runs with. I mean, obviously the young man is talented. That shows, but I think he's getting some good coaching behind the scenes, getting some good tips, some good pointers on exactly how to drive this car. And, let's face it, if you can get that kind of help, especially when you got a little bit of pro help or semi-pro or aspiring pro, or however you want to put it, but when teamwork is involved, I think your chances, you stand to do a little bit better amongst especially strangers when you're coming into a newer environment. You're not really left out there on an island by yourself to figure it all out. Andy Tico on screen here. Speaking of people trying to figure it out, he's 13th in practice right now. Still, though, these are really fast laps here. Low 14 seconds, high 13.9 at the top for JR right now.
I was about to bring up the bottom point of the practice times. They're only off by a couple tenths of a second.
Yeah.
They're nearly identical tonight, Sean.
It's not like they're horrible, right? I mean, it's like, these guys don't belong here. They're only separated, like you said, just by about 4/10 of a second, which is just crazy. Which means the start of this race, Justin, could get really hairy really quick.
And right now, that's going to make it interesting for the drivers who may, say, have to start outside the invert point of this race. We're less than 90 seconds away from the drivers rolling their cars out on the grid. Your keys to the race to take home the W tonight.
I think my key to getting, one of the keys to getting the W is to stay out of trouble early. This is 100 laps. This track really, it looks wide, but trust me, the confines down in the racing groove are very, very tight. That Nerf bar to Nerf bar contact that I talked about, going to be very, very prevalent tonight. Guys are going to try to make moves, and maybe the sight lines aren't great. You've really got to hug it down there on the bottom through the turns. You got to keep it down there. So avoiding contact early is going to be very, very important. You get shuffled back in this small field. You may stay back there for a while, because I think the really, really clean, great drivers are going to be able to break away early. If we get a green flag run, that could mean traffic soon and finding yourself a lap down trying to play back on a NASCAR lucky dog.
Agree with you on that one. It's going to be interesting as these drivers finish up the practice times. Once again, fastest times of the night in the 13.9s. John Minato joining that group along with Justin Morton and James Lowe. Have to keep an eye on those drivers, and most of those names will be starting towards the front for tonight's racing action amongst that invert. But it's time to get ready to go racing 100 laps from the Bullring for tonight's action for the Stone River 100. They're all set to go to take to the grid live from the Bullring at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. How are they going to shape up for the grid? Let's take a look as the drivers get ready behind the iRacing official pace car. It's James Lowe who will bring them to the green flag tonight alongside Justin Morton in row number 1. They're amongst the fastest cars in practice. John Minato starts in 3rd with Kenny Kibbe in the 4th position. J.R. Shepard, he just won the late model race for the series. He starts in 5th tonight alongside Joshua Banks. The rest of the cars outside the inversion, though, as mentioned, some drivers not making the start tonight. Mac Allen moves to 7th. We also have John in the 8th position, John Hine to be specific. Robbie Robinson starts in 9th, and Todd Liston rounds up the top 10, John.
All right, Justin, starting in P11, it's going to be the Butler. Dan Butler starting in row 6 with Bruce Pearson. Row 7, going to be John Segala. Next, our old friend Donnie Moore in the number 26 Irwin Tools SK Modified, row 8. Kurt Smith in the Premier number 6 next to Mike Holloway in his number 31 SK Modified. Justin, then we go to row 9. It's going to be Brian Dean in the number 23 and Andy Tico, number 65. And then rounding out this 19-car SK Modified field is going to be the boss, Lowell Jewell. And number 3 is with us tonight, starting in the back. And he's probably okay with that. Going to let this field sort itself out in front. But I'm ready to go racing. I know you're ready to go racing. Let's do this.
Let's do this indeed. Remember, though, Mike Allen does have ended the longest line. Got a 5-point penalty for avoidable contact or corner exit. He'll have to sacrifice that 7th starting position and drop to the rear of the grid along with Jewell. These drivers getting ready to go and hit the loud pedal today from the Bullring under the lights. And it's a cool night for racing, just 66 degrees Fahrenheit for these cars. Track temp has cooled off to 68. That'll pick up quickly as the rubber builds up. Who's going to take home the checker flag tonight for the Stone River 100? We're going to have to wait and see. Pace car is off the circuit. Low in control of the field. Waiting patiently as they take it through 3 and 4. His green and yellow modified brings them to the green flag. We're underway from the Bullring at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Low off to a heck of a start along the outside line. Justin Morton keeping toe-to-toe with your pole sitter. Battle coming up from behind. Minato trying to make it 3 wide. Elects to stay behind. Minato actually giving a shot to Low to push him forward and get him back to single file. And a heck of a start to this race, Sean.
Indeed, they are off like gangbusters. I'll tell you what, Morton fighting really, really hard there on the top side. Minoto drifts up a little bit to give him a little bit of slipstream to deal with, but it's all by himself right now, and it looks like Morton's got no choice but to slip in line.
Contact, Minato hits the wall. J.R. Shepard forced to check up. He tries to make the pass for the 2nd spot. They're side by side behind him as well for 4th position. Shepard forced to get back to single file. But it just looked like Minato hit the wall just a little bit with those tires, and that lost him all that amount of speed and bundled everybody up, including Shepard.
See Low up there running really well, starting to break away just a bit on board with J.R. Shepard as he tries to get this line inside on Minoto. Down the front stretch, it's a race to 1. JR's got to back out of it, give a little space. Got to watch out for Morton just behind him.
Shepard a little bit quicker, it seems, off the turn 4 exit. He has had to actually check up a couple times. This time he doesn't. Tries to set it in. Caution flag is up before he can make the pass. And it's a big one in the exit of turn 4. Mike Holloway involved. We also have Bruce Pearson involved. Mike Allen also amongst the drivers who had to check up and stop on the exit of turn 4 for our first yellow flag of the night, Sean. Let's take a look at this GSRC replay for this one.
Try and see this where this started. We'll start with Allen here. Or I'm sorry, with Bruce Pearson. Oh, you see the contact there. Pearson. It gets everybody stacked up behind him, Justin. Really just nowhere to go for the rest of those guys.
Yeah, at least 4 or 5 different cars were stopped or sideways in that mixture of cars for a first yellow flag of the night. Coming towards lap 10, these drivers, but it looked like right from the start, the drivers wanting to get as far away from the high line as they can. Why do you think that is?
you know what? Maybe there was just the lower line a little bit safer place to be. Obviously, you've got some escape room down there if you make a mistake. You get up in the marbles here, get up anywhere as close to that wall, going to be deadly on that right front, especially. You don't want to knock the toe out just 10 laps into this race. Mike Allen already chosen to come in for a pit stop here early. He obviously got caught up in that.
Yeah, he had to spin. He's actually locked up the brakes to try and avoid everything. You're not supposed to take tires, though. Remember that in this series. But I think wanting to just be safe, there is one faster pair available for these drivers. He elects to use his right now as he comes off and away. So he might have damaged something, he might felt like, in that mess there. He does have his tires a little bit dirty. You've seen a little bit of that gray sheen from the pit lane.
The Clarence Steakhouse driver obviously knew something was up, thought better, brought it in. But I think we're just about ready to go back to racing here. Lights are out on the pace car, Justin.
Yes, indeed. 1 to go until the next start. We'll get back to racing with 88 to go. James Lowe still in the lead. But John Minotto starts in the second spot. Shepard in third. Morton in fourth. Better launch this time for the 99. Green flag is back out. He's already single file as Shepard sends it hard for the second spot. Minotto moves up the racetrack, opens up the door for Morton for third position, and their revolving door is wide open on the bottom side of the racetrack to get by that 13. And right now, John seems to be stuck up there, Sean.
Yeah, he sure does. Doesn't seem like a good place to be right now. John brings it back down low. He's got it back out of it a little bit. He's trying to take the nose off of Josh Banks right behind him. Josh got to watch it as Minotto was having to back off there. Kenny Kibbe was up on the curbs down to the inside. And then there's another battle back there. It's Hine and Liston, or Kurt Smith, I'm sorry.
Yeah, some of the battles starting to get cracking a little bit here as you look at that on your screen. It is separated a little bit. Hine is the car in front. Kurt Smith trying to move up from 8th to 9th as you look at the intervals. So right now they're slowly also trying to reel in Liston. That's also going on as the lead is side by side. Shepard dives his way to the inside of the entrance of 3. J.R. Shepard already up to the lead on lap 18. And I could see Shepard coming to make that move quickly, Sean. He has been the fastest car off the exit of turn 4, especially all night so far. That time by a 14 flat.
Yeah, you know, we missed that on camera. Why don't we take a look at that on the replay real quick here and we'll watch JR make that overtake.
Yeah, you can see this up on your screen. He's actually using a lower line compared to that yellow and green machine of Lowe. Gets side by side of the entrance of 3, and that's enough to be able to ride that bottom while Lowe gives him the spot and sacrifices the lead. Already 20 laps down, 80 to go, coming to 79 to go this time by, and Shepard already is one of the fastest, if not the fastest car on the racetrack, Sean.
Yeah, and it's Lowe that we're used to seeing down there on that bottom line, protecting it and guarding it with his life, but JR just a little too good there this evening, and Lowe has to let him have it, and Lowe's going to have a lot of trouble behind him because, I mean, look at this. He's got Morton right in his mirror, Kenny Kibbe back there, still very, very much a factor. But there's a lot of hard racing going on. Let's go back to P13, I think it is. Hornets Nest back here for P12.
Yes, we're looking at that up on your screen. A lot of cars in this mixture, in fact. Hall weighs the car in front for 12. Then you have Brian Dean, I should rather say, trying to hold off in front of Dan Butler. And then you on top of that have Tico amongst those drivers. And they're all using somewhat different lines. Right now, Dean trying to dive into to that white line on the corner entry. Butler's trying to diamond it in a little bit and try and use a bit of the apron. Some different sort of lines we're seeing tonight here, Sean, as Butler this time tries the high line, but opens up the door for Tico to get a run into turn 3 as they start to come up to traffic some of these cars.
And, you know, Justin, the traffic, you know, we talked about what would happen if we got a green flag run. Well, J.R. Shepard's about to hit some of that traffic here pretty soon. We've had a decent run now. What has this been about? I think about 27 laps we've gone here, and correct me if I'm wrong, no, maybe about 25 now. And JR is going to be catching the back of the field here pretty quick.
Yeah, it's going to be right now pretty darn quick. He's nearly reeled in Allen. By the way, third position is side-by-side. Kirby just made the pass on Morton, where they were side-by-side for about half a lap, it appears, after Kirby was able to get to the inside of turn 3. That seems to be the place drivers want to make a move, is entrance to turn 3, sets up a side-by-side, and if you can stick on the bottom, you're likely to try and hold on to the position. Morton, a couple times, is trying to make the high side work, but that time sacrificed the spot to the nocturnal gaming machine.
Yeah, Morton might have lost the handle on a little bit here, Justin. Maybe burning it up, using her up a little bit early. Kibby able to get around. Kenny streaming right now there. NG_Kibbs. Go check him out.
Wonder how much fun he's having right now. His car currently in the top 3 position. He was the fastest car last time by. This time by just a 12/100th of a second off of J.R. Shepard's fastest time. So he tries to move up the grid. He was actually battling with Shepard in the late model race earlier tonight. Right now, though, James Lowe is falling off a cliff a touch. As you look at more side-by-side battling up on your screen here, Sean. And this battle involves some of the drivers getting reeled in by Shepard and company.
Yeah, you're right, and it's Segala right now, the aggressor, just getting by Dan Butler. They've been fighting back and forth for a couple laps, but it looks like Joe's got it figured out now. Maybe don't speak too early. Dan right there, so is Bruce Pearson. And yes, J.R. Shepard in the mirror.
And J.R. Shepard within the straightaway now with these drivers. Remember, Butler was trying to pass the cars up in front. He was starting to struggle, though, on corner entry of turn 1 and 2. He has since fallen down to the 14.4s. These drivers around him about a tenth or two quicker. They're about to be at risk again of being lapped by J.R. Shepard, who is just caught up to Mike Allen's car.
Sorry, Justin. Kibby just makes a move to get around Lowe.
Yes, indeed. He made the pass in 1 and 2 to be dived it in, got his way by the slower car in second for Lowe. Now let's take a look at this one, because Lowe has been falling off a pretty decent amount. He fell off by 2/3 At that time, Kibby dives his way on the bottom. Lowe gives him the spot, and now everybody else has reeled them in as well. Morton and Banks fighting behind them. Banks just took 4th on the bottom side. Also reeling them in is Minato alongside Liston. So all of these cars trying to get by James Lowe now, who has fallen to the 14.3s. Everybody else in the 14.1s and 2s around them.
And Justin, just like that, we've knocked off 42 laps, buddy, and about to hit the halfway point of this thing really, really quick here. Fast race here at the Bullring. I expected nothing less. We're on board with Justin Morton, fastly closing in on Joshua. Please and thanks, Banks, in the Matco Tools, SK Modified.
Remember, that position swap just a couple laps ago. Morton's TDR machine also trying to hold on to the set top 5, but you have to wonder what's going on with Lowe right in front of them, because Lowe has started be falling off quicker and quicker and quicker. He seems to be struggling on corner exit, and that has allowed everybody to stack up behind him. You can see this is where it all starts for positions. He pushes up off of turn 2, opens up the bottom, gives up the spot, this time to Joshua Banks. Morton also falls through. Every time he's pushed up like that off of turn 2, everybody's trying to follow suit behind him to make a move.
That's a great point. We got it there on camera, and he is now the guy getting shuffled out. Minato going to make his way through. Hell, he's bringing Todd Liston with him right behind him. Liston actually chooses to go down to the bottom. He's going to get that swing out. He's actually going to follow Minato here.
Minato able to get clear. Liston, the last of the drivers before there's some space for that 99 machine. The 87 car of Liston, that red, blue, and white. the cruise shop machine. Able to get the spot, move him up to 6th position. He's +4 in the race. One of the biggest movers of the night so far. So move up that 87 machine, up an extra spot. By the way, this has all been going on. J.R. Shepherd has started to lap his way through some of the traffic at the back end of the field. He has already lapped his way towards Joe Segala. Segala just in front of him, in fact, in that 81 machine. He's about to reach him, running the same pace, in fact, as that green, white, and black machine, Sean.
JR's got a whole bunch of traffic up in front of him. And honestly, if I'm JR right now, as we just passed the halfway point of this race, I'm probably thinking, you know, a caution flag wouldn't be bad right here, as long as I'm not the one wrapped up in it, just so we get some clean track in front of him, because from here on out, I'd say for the next 10, 15 laps, he's going to have to step on eggshells a bit here through this traffic.
Also have to see drivers step on eggshells, including those position battles for 2nd and 3rd on back. Shepherd, meanwhile, laps Segala. If you look back, though, to guys like Morton and the rest of those drivers, they're going to have to deal with a lot of traffic management. Your thoughts on the difficulty of traffic management at this track as they lap Bruce Pearson, rather. Yeah, it's been a very clean race outside of that one caution flag we've seen in the first 10 laps or so. We've gone green since then, already quickly approaching 40 laps to go in this event. Yeah, Dean right now, +7, Sean. Yeah, he is looking pretty comfortable in that yellow and black machine. The 23 car quickly trying to reel in high up in front of him. Last time by was a tenth slower and nearly pushes into the wall. Had to back off the gas. Yeah, take a look at this as watch the right front and coming off of turn number 2. And we've seen a couple cars struggling with tightness there a little bit too early. Scrubs the tire. Sure. If that's going to help him focus, let's see. Yes, let's go to P3, in fact. Joshua Banks currently holding on to the spot at the moment, but Morton's been attached to his hip, basically. They've been near identical in pace since they were able to switch positions, and they're also trying to reel in Kibbe here at this point. So they're actually quicker right now than J.R. Shepherd at this point of the run. What do you think they're going to have through their minds at this point as they continue to try and shake things up for 3rd on back?
You know what? Honestly, Justin, I'm starting to look at the laps and 35 left to go. I'm starting to feel like they're running out of time. We may start to see some moves of desperation unfold here real quickly. In fact, P11 might be a spot where that's happening now.
Yeah, P11 right now is just in front of J.R. Shepherd. They're fighting to stay on the lead lap. Moore and Mike Holloway. Looking from the back end right now of the 26 machine. Behind him is 31 of Holloway. Then J.R. Shepherd is right behind them. Looking to lap his way up to 11. Eventually, they're going to have to move, though, for Shepherd. Shepherd is a bit more quicker. They're about a tenth or two slower than the leader. Holloway tries to set it to the inside. Moves by Moore, and that opens up the door for Shepherd to try and lap that 12th place car. It will indeed do so, lapping the Irwin Tools machine. But now Holloway's the last car on the lead lap. That puts the 26 in the lucky dog spot for now, though.
Well, you won't see that many times happen in a season, and that's J.R. Shepard putting a lap on Donnie Moore. But I talked about what would happen if we got a green flag run on this track. And, boy, Donnie's fallen victim to that tonight. I hate to see it for him.
Now Hallway's a lap down, so move the 11th car on back. 1 lap down to J.R. Shepard, who is still running in the 14.2s, just 2 or 3 seconds of 2 or 3 tenths rather of fall off despite all these position battles, such as the one for 3rd spot. So the drivers not dealing with too much. They are dealing with a bit of tightness, but for the most part, they haven't been dealing with too much of a cliff yet.
Morton really trying to get this position from Joshua Banks. You see him digging it down there. He was right up on top of that little curb.
Yeah,
I like what I'm seeing.
Right now, Morton really rubbing his way against the curves that time. Some cars actually squealing behind them. Kurt Smith nearly lost control a bit. But right now, Morton has a bit of a better run. Can't get the run yet, though, on Banks. Both of those drivers actually using that curbing and the flat part of the banking on those aprons of the corners to try and get some extra speed or try and find any kind of a run. Kind of actually trying to use it to settle the nose of the car, it looks like a little bit, Sean.
Yeah, indeed. Exactly. That's exactly what they're trying to do. And I don't want to see a caution flag at this point. My word. I'll tell you what, Morton is really in a good position here to set him up for a pass. He's got time to get it done.
Yes, right now, coming to 24 laps to go, these drivers will get that at the flag stand. They've been actually running a bit faster times despite the fighting themselves than Kibbe. They've reeled him in by an air car length or two, but again, J.R. Shepard is still putting in 14.2 flats nearly, as well as 14.1s at the head of the field. He is quickly approaching the battle for 10th on back that is shaping up, where Robbie Robinson is under attack by Hine. Hine just drove underneath him on the inside. Dean also had just followed through.
Oh, and they're side by side. 3 wide and contact in the corner. And Brian Dean drives away from the scene of the crime.
And man, oh man, that was Dean. 3 wide with the lap car and Butler. I don't think Butler knew that battle was coming up on them. To be side by side, everyone appears to be okay. Just tire to tire and nerf bar to nerf bar contact. Dean up to 8th spot, as they'll now lap Mike Allen in a moment. But that has reeled everybody in right to J.R. Shepard's door.
Banks and Morton still digging at it here too.
Looking at that battle again on your screen, they're going to have to deal with lap traffic themselves. Kibbe, though, has been reeled in, was 2/10 slower last time. They have 3 different lap cars up in front of them. Kibbe trying to dime in the corner, try and get to the bottom in the middle of the apex. Banks, though, along with Morton, have been both using that apron to settle the nose, turn the left front side tires. That has picked them up the pace. Bit of a harder break this time for Banks. Can't get the dive point yet as they have to lap by Dan Butler. And it just looks like Kibbe not as comfortable right now with that apron compared to the 2 drivers who have reeled him in by using that apron to settle the left side of the nose. Still coming to 15 laps to go here, Sean.
Wow.
And this could get crazy for second.
Yeah, it really is going to get crazy for second. Let's face it, that's what the race is for at this point, but it's been a beautiful one. Kibbe holding them off after taking it away from Morton.
Oh, car getting loose in front of them. That is Tico saving it from hitting the inside wall. We stay green.
Quick replay on Tico.
Let's take a look at this. Yes, indeed, on Tico. As he got loose with the back end tires. Watch this out of turn 4. This actually bundled up some more of the lead cars after he saved the race car. Look. And that could have been big, especially what happened right here in turn 1 and 2. There was some actual contact there, Sean, that pushed a couple drivers up to the top.
And Banks has found it again. Here we go, Justin.
Banks looking to move up to 2nd spot. Has lap cars side by side up in front of them. Allen moves up to the high side. Kibbe side by side with the lap traffic. Banks trying to get his way forward. Coming to 10 laps to go this time by for these drivers. single file, still fourth, second, third, and fourth. Donnie Moore will try and have to find a way through, clean sailing for this battle afterwards. Kibbe looking like he's more comfortable in the traffic, while Banks more comfortable along with Morton in the clean space. Can Morton and Banks force a mistake by Kibbe is the question here, coming to 9 laps to go. That time a bit of a slippage by Banks off the corner.
And a class move by Donnie Moore, getting out of the way of all three of those drivers. We'll go on board with Justin Morton as he finds himself still chasing here. Watch out, Joshua Banks almost loses it on the bottom.
Yeah, it looks like Banks is actually starting to swing loose at the end of this race. It's been a very long green flag run of more than 70 plus laps on these tires. That machine, that green and black Matco Tools machine, actually picks up time this time. The fastest car on the racetrack gets to the Nerf bar of the 14 machine. Sends it to the inside. Kibbe tries to dime it. It just cuts off the Nerf bar on the front end of Banks' machine. Coming to 6 to go. And all of this shaking up for the second spot of the racetrack, mind you. J.R. Shepard has pulled away and lapped the majority of the field, but Banks looking to get as many points as he can. Kibbe opens up the bottom door. Side by side for second. Kibbe pushes up. Pushing loses Banks as they go back single file. Banks sends it back hard again along the bottom of the racetrack. He'll move up to second spot. The question is, can Morton follow through? Yes, he does along the apron, nearly making contact. Does as the 14th saves it. Morton also slows up, and running away with second is Joshua Banks, Sean. Coming to 3 to go.
Banks put the power move down, and it left Kibbe and Morton standing there looking at each other like, what just happened to us? Banks able to drive away. He's not going to catch J.R. Shepard. It doesn't matter. P2 going to be good enough tonight, but J.R. is the man. Coming around to take the white flag here, Justin, at the Bullring in Las Vegas.
J.R. Shepard took the lead just before the 20 laps in mark. That 98 machine, since then, has been a rocket ship. J.R. Shepard out of turn number 4 takes the checker flag. He wins at the Bullring at Las Vegas and the Stone River 100. Second spot goes to Banks. Kibbe to third. Morton and Liston rounds out your top 5, Sean.
Boy, what a big race here at the Bullring tonight. Honestly, we hadn't seen a race like that all season, Justin. We've been waiting 10 races for something big to happen, get a long green flag run like that. And tonight, brother, we got it here in Las Vegas.
What a show indeed here at the Bullring. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your post-race coverage. You're watching iRacing, tonight's coverage of the Global SimRacing channel of the Bootleg Racing League, SK Modified, and the Stone River 100. back, everyone, to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Stone River 100. Live from the Bullring at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, it's Prince alongside Sean Ambrose in the broadcast booth after J.R. Shepard took the victory tonight in the Bootleg Racing League. The points leader grows his lead just a little bit more, leading about 80 laps tonight, finishing with the advantage of 5.4 seconds over Joshua Banks. Kenny Kibbe held on hard for second spot before Banks took the spot away, coming to 6 laps to go. Justin Morning came home in fourth, with Tom Liston rounding out the top 5. Behind them was John Minato finishing in 6th. James Lowe was the last car in the lead lap. He started on the pole, burned up his equipment, unfortunately for him, in the early going, 8.1 seconds back. Dean finishes in 8th spot, the biggest move in the race, from 17th to 8th, while Hine finishes in 9th. Holloway rounds out the top 10 tonight, Sean.
All right, Justin, it's going to be Robbie Robinson in number 56 SKA. He'll finish 11th tonight. Donnie Moore, not the best evening for him tonight, but he'll finish 12th. Andy Tico will finish 13th. Joe Segala in the number 81, 14th tonight. Kurt Smith, 15th for him. Bruce Pearson, 16th. Mike Allen, 17th. 18th for Dan Butler. And the boss, well, he took an early one tonight, and he'll finish 19th in this SK field here tonight in the Bootleg Modified Series. And Justin, well, it's time to talk to defending champion and race winner J.R. Shepard. You got him.
Yes, indeed. J.R. Shepard, you basically dominated tonight. You took the lead at about lap 17 and never looked back. How are you feeling after coming away with this W this evening?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, I have a lot of confidence at this track, but like I said in pre-race, it's one of those things where anything can happen here, and if there's an accident or somebody gets loose in front of you, you can get caught up into a big mess. So I'm pretty excited that didn't happen, and we came away with a clean race.
How difficult was it to try and keep the pace you were going, because it looked like you were the fastest car out of the majority of the field tonight, off the exit of turn 4 especially. Especially we were bundled up for that first restart rather of the race at about lap 13ish.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks. It's very line sensitive, and you have to hit your marks very, very good each and every corner. So it's just repetition, and if I try to slow down, I'll actually start missing those marks. So I just pretty much ran about 90% the entire race, because if I went any slower, it wasn't going to be good.
The 90% was actually the fastest car on the track, about 50% of the laps on that final run, so that's an impressive 90% to say the very least. How difficult was it, by the way, to go through the traffic throughout this entire evening, because you lapped your way up to the 8th position tonight?
Yeah, these guys were extremely respectful tonight of the leaders, from what I saw anyway, and a couple of guys apologized after the race thinking they got in my way, and they didn't. When I catch guys racing to put them a lap down, I try to stay out of it as long as I can, because I don't want to mess their race up. So I try to give them room, and when there was time for me to go, I went. So overall they were extremely respectful, and I appreciate that tonight. It was a really clean race.
One more race left on the schedule for 2019's calendar year. South Boston is up in the schedule. Your thoughts on South Boston?
South Boston's going to be tough. I haven't ran the SK there this season, so I'm not sure how the track's really going to be. But the last couple of times we've been there, it's been one of those tracks where you can make the bottom work for 1 or 2 laps, and then the top is the dominant line. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I'm afraid that if you get in the wrong line, you're just going to go backwards like you would on a plate track. So we'll go there and do the best we can, and see how it works out.
Is there anyone who you want to thank before we let you get back to your celebration tonight?
Yeah, definitely the Bootleg Racing League for everything that they do. It's great for us to be able to come out here each and every week. Want to thank the Cruise Shop for being our title sponsor, and Stone River Outfitters for coming on board and helping us out with the races this season. It's great to have these sponsors and guys that are behind us and help us to do what we want to do each and every week. So thank you guys, and thank GSRC for doing the broadcast. It's great to have you too.
Congrats on the victory tonight, JR. JR Shepard coming away with the victory tonight. He started in 5th. The man who started in 6th and came home 2nd is standing by with Sean Ambrose. That is Joshua Banks. He had to work for that 2nd spot, Sean.
He sure did. Joshua, that's a hell of a run tonight, man.
Yeah, that was actually some fun racing there. I wish it was for the win, but still, for 2nd place, you can't beat it.
You had to come back and pass Kibby after he'd gotten you earlier, and when he got you, he kind of dusted you. Kind of left you back there to fight with Morton. Talk about the fight Justin was giving you.
Oh, man, that was just fun. I respect Justin for the way he raced. He didn't force anything. He waited for the opportunity. I thought he had me a couple times, but he didn't take it. I was kind of surprised, but good racing by us 3 up front for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. That was a lot of fun, and I'm glad it went down the way it did. I mean, yeah, of course I come out 2nd, but still it was good racing.
About time to hit the showers, I imagine. That sounds like it was pretty tense, buddy.
Oh man, I think I've taken 2 showers today because of work this morning. So if a 3rd one might come into play now.
Man, I'll tell you what. Hard to believe that 2019 is about to run out the door on us here. We've got 1 race left. We head to Sobo next week. What do you think about closing the season out there?
Man, I love that track. It's actually one of my hometown tracks. I live about a couple hours away from it, so love that track. Real tight, real good short track racing there. Really like racing there myself in these modified, so definitely looking forward to it and come out with a good finish there, end the season out strong, and hopefully come out strong next season as well.
Hey, you're already off to a good start for next season with a podium tonight, rolling into next week to one of your favorite tracks, practically a home track for you. We wish you the best. We'll see you then, my friend.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right.
That was Joshua. Yep, that was Joshua Banks coming home 2nd tonight, Sean. Pardon me there. Apologize for cutting you off there, Sean. But Kenny Kibbe, he had a heck of a battle, I should say, for that 3rd position tonight, Sean. And he's standing by with me now here. Kenny, you were holding on for 2nd for such a long time. Then Banks and Morton started railing you in. What happened?
I think tires were starting to go away. It was starting to get a lot of, really tight. And the car just wasn't turning in like it was. And I was making a few mistakes every once in a while, trying to deal with the traffic. Traffic was good. It's just, it just becomes a visual distraction sometimes. And missed my marks a couple times, but mainly the car was just getting tight through the middle of the corner. And Banks, he's been pretty good on the long runs, so he was able to run me down. But I'm really happy with the 3rd place after not a very good run here last season, and we ran up front all night, so that's always good.
Indeed, you mentioned the car getting tighter as the run went on, but you held on for a long time. What was going through your head once Banks got your inside and you and Morton actually made what appeared to be just a tiny bit of contact before you held on to the 3rd position?
Yeah, I mean, when Banks was coming, when he got near me, I knew he was going to be aggressive. That's his driving style, and I wasn't going to give it to him until my spotter was going to say inside. So there was one time I thought he was maybe going to hit me, but he didn't. And then he just got a good run on me, and I couldn't defend from there. And then, I tried to slip back in line, and I haven't looked at it yet, but I thought I came down on Justin just a little bit, but he said he hit the apron and came up into me, and thank goodness we were able to save it and keep going, and Justin was able to keep going, and we were able to no harm, no foul.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Next race, though, is at South Boston. Your thoughts on that circuit?
I like it. I've run pretty well there, especially in the other 2 series that we run, the street stocks and the limited late models. But I have a feeling that the track's going to be pretty slick in these cars. They like to get loose on throttle. So, if it's a slick track, I might be able to do pretty decent.
Curious to see how you do at South Boston next week before we wrap up the 2019 calendar year. Anyone you want to thank before we let you go here tonight?
I'd just like to thank the Cruise Shop and Stone River Outfitters. I keep forgetting them, but not this time. and everybody at the Bootleg Racing League, and all my friends and family that like to watch me every week, and you guys at GSRC for doing a great job.
Congratulations to third place tonight, Kenny. Good run for you.
Thank you.
That was Kenny Kibbe coming away third tonight this evening. Sean, your quick final thoughts before we say goodbye for tonight's race in action here on GSRC.
Well, my final thoughts are is we got a great race tonight. Green flag racing, first time all season. Took 10 races to get one of these in the books. Yeah, we had a little hiccup there in the first 10 laps. Justin, I don't even remember it at this point. It doesn't matter. It wasn't a factor in this race. It didn't really put anybody out, so to speak. Mike Allen was the only one that had to take a car, come in for his spare car on that. And then they went mean and green all the way to the end. About as entertaining it gets, and my buddy Joe missed it this week, and so did poor Chris. And I hate it for those guys, but they'll be back next week for the season finale. I can't wait. It's like I said before, it's hard to believe 2019 almost in the books for the Bootleg Racing League, and we've got a really, really big announcement for everyone next week. We're going to save it for next week, Justin. Bittersweet, maybe somber, maybe really exciting. I think for some of us, we're pretty charged up about it, so I'm going to leave it at that. We'll leave a cliffhanger till the season finale next week here on the Global Sim Racing channel.
Should be an interesting announcement, absolutely, Sean. But before we go tonight, I'd like to thank once again the sponsors tonight in the cruise shop. Once again, high experienced travel agents in the huge passion for travel that specialize in cruises, all-inclusive resorts, escorted hotels, Disney, family travel, groups, honeymoons, and weddings. You can call them tonight at 260-755-6125. Also, to our title sponsor for the race this evening, Stone River Outfitters. Family-owned full-service brick-and-mortar fly shop located in Amherst, New Hampshire. Be sure to contact them today for their experience, insight, and most candid, most trustworthy advice available anywhere, period. Once again, thank you to the organizer for this series and Laurel Jewel for the Bootleg Racing League for holding what was an exciting race tonight, as well as the companies on your screen that provide our hardware and software for the broadcast listed. Additional thanks go to Judah Lawn as well, who runs the wonderful music. See the screen for how to get more for great work. Thanks to the team today in Sean as well. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. Or you can check out our social media at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. Don't forget to head over to our YouTube page and hit that big red subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you don't miss a moment here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. As mentioned, the last race of the 2019 calendar here goes to South Boston Speedway. Should be an entertaining one at one of the oldest circuits on the iRacing service. Be sure to tune in for the action here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. We also have upcoming races for other series listed up on your screen, so be sure to check those out and mark them down your calendar. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.